Hello, everyone on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, and for the first time on Instagram. Super excited to be back for another episode of Zoom In with Zach. This is actually our second episode of the year. And again, just to recap, we had 30 amazing episodes in the first year I kicked the show off. My goal is to do 30 or more. Let's see, maybe 40 this year. But of course, I'm just introducing you to some amazing people that I've met along my journey, folks that I think everyone should know and people that I really want to connect to. So if you are watching on any platform, please like, please share. Make sure you're throwing questions in the comments and make sure you're connecting with my guests because that's why I do the show. But again, thanks for watching and let's kick it off. Another episode of Zoom In with Zach. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Zoom In with Zach. And it's interesting. My guests that I have today are musical geniuses. And I now realize I should probably have them make me some intro music. I think that might be the next elevation of Zoom In with Zach. But again, super excited you're here with me for another episode. Whether you're watching on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, please share the show. To have some great people for you to connect with today. And as always in season 2, I gave you inspirational quotes in season 1. This year, we're going with corny jokes, dad jokes. And I got one for you. It's on the screen right now. How do you follow Will Smith in the snow? All right. Think about it. How do you follow Will Smith in the snow? All right. So I'm going to give you the answer by the end of the show. I am going to see if our guests know the answer as well. But I don't want to take any time to introduce you to these amazing people. I've known these two for over a decade at this point. And I'm so excited because they're going to be performing in Philly really soon. So I get to introduce them to all my friends down here. But without further ado, I want to introduce you to my friends, Elasea and Sadiki, Acute Inflections.
Hi, Zach.
It's always good to see y'all. Y'all always just look on point. Look so together. Like, I'm into
Only
it.
on camera.
Yeah, right.
This did not look like this.
I hear you. Well, no, thank you so much for being on the show. I want to get into kind of telling people about you, but first, to let folks know, we go way back. All right, Elasea, you're like a sister friend to my wife May, and Sadiki. I had to get you to refresh my memory. We met, when I worked at the Nets, because you were good friends with Marco G. My man, who actually I've talked to. He's going to be on an episode at some point too. But tell me a little bit more about how you two met and how you came together to create Acute Inflections.
So I'll take this first part of it, maybe. We actually met the same night you and Sadiki met.
No, we reconnected.
Yeah. Right. So the day I met Sadiki, which was February 12th, 2012, I did a concert at the Knitting Factory in Brooklyn, in New York. And Sadiki and Marco came to that concert, not for me, for someone else.
We came for the music, of course.
Yeah, someone else's music. But he was smitten as soon as he came to the door because I was on stage at the time.
I was smitten by the music. Yes.
Whatever, same thing. Came from me. It's one and the same. Anyhow, May, who is Zach's wife, was singing background for me. I think it's not the first time you and I met, but I don't think. But it was just this
So actually, Marco, who is how you and I met, wanted to meet her friend who was in the show Fail Out when she was on Broadway. So that's actually why we were there that night. And as far as the group starting, long story short, the other musicians didn't show up, and I got pressured into playing with just her on stage. So she sang, I played bass. We thought it sounded terrible. The audience loved it and sort of encouraged us to, just to make it a thing and see where it goes.
So that happenstance has now turned into you two being Acute Inflections, which I've now had a chance to see you perform live in multiple places and venues, and y'all are just awesome.
Thank you very much. See, it pays to add a little pressure every now and then.
Yeah. Indeed. But you bring something new to the space. I think it's not overly common that we see folks with such, of course, great talent, but doing the music you do, you don't always see Black folks doing that. Tell me a little bit about that. Like, how does it feel to be in that space or to be unique in the space?
Wow.
Sometimes it's challenging. I mean, it's rewarding at the end of the day, but sometimes in the moment, anytime you go against the grain, do something different, you kind of run into those people that I don't know if they're doing it intentionally, but they can try to discourage you. But I read a quote today that says, kites don't fly with the wind pushing them; they fly against the wind. So, it was a nice reminder with our journey that when we meet that resistance, like when you run into the jazz police or someone who's like, you guys shouldn't be doing that arrangement to that song. You shouldn't be adding a swing feel to that or whatever. That you're on the right track. If someone thinks you shouldn't be doing something, you might want to just continue and see where it goes.
I love it. And tell me a little bit about all that you do, because like one of the things that blew my mind when I saw you last time, you had like a Bob Marley inspired album, which I thought was amazing. I've enjoyed listening to it. But tell me a little bit more about your vibe and what you bring to a performance. Like if someone were to book you, what did they get with Elasea and Sadiki?
You get semi-filtered charisma, jokes, but musically you get some really unique interpretations of familiar songs that in the moment you don't even realize, wait, I know this song, until like in the thick of it. Just musical takes that are so different that it's almost refreshing, so songs that's been out forever or just out last week, when we do them and kind of connect to the story at another level, it can take you, it can like bewitch you, it can really set you in a cool vibe, it can make you feel sexy, make you feel real smart and sophisticated because you're listening to this music that makes you want to straighten up without feeling hoity-toity,
Right. And I'm intentionally teasing all of you who are watching. I want you to follow them at Acute Inflections, so you can hear some of this music. They have it on their social. You can check it out. And of course, they perform tons up in New York, right? Do you live in Jersey or in New York?
You're in New York. We were considering Jersey, and then this opportunity fell in our lap, so we are up in the suburbs.
Gotcha. But yeah, they play all over New York, and you're coming down to Philly in a couple of weeks to make Valentine's weekend extra special. Why don't you tell folks some details about that?
I'm so stoked.
We're going to be at City Winery. It's Sunday, February 13th, and we're doing it at 5 p.m. because Zach was kind enough to inform us that our original time, 8 p.m., that the Super Bowl was trying to hate on our show.
Yeah, we picked our date first, and then the NFL was like, "No, we like it too."
So it's kind of a rude thing the NFL did, but it's cool. We know how the NFL does. Yeah. So we decided to be the bigger person. We moved the time to 5 p.m. so you have time to come see the show and still get home to watch the game.
Yes, we're trying to keep peace in homes.
No, I love it. So you heard that, folks. You can actually go and see the show at City Winery and then go watch the Super Bowl. I think that should be the plan for everybody that day. And question for you, Sadiki, how long have you been playing the is it called the upright bass? What's the proper name for that beautiful instrument sitting behind you?
Upright bass. That was good. As long as you don't call it a cello, we can still maintain a friendship.
That was the second word in my brain, and I'm glad I didn't say that first.
Yeah, I'm glad you did too, but I get that a lot. And then some people don't even try. They're like, what's that big violin thing you're playing?
Guitar.
Yeah, big guitar. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So I started when I was maybe 10, 12 years old. And then it was kind of a hobby, something I did in my spare time. And whenever I got grounded, I'd play at home. And then I stopped pretty much when I got out of college, maybe like 2022, I stopped playing. And then when I reconnected with Elle, or connected with Elle 10 years ago, she kind of slowly dragged me back into it. And ironically enough, my bass was in Philadelphia. A friend of mine in Philly always wanted to learn to play. He knew how to play electric. He wanted to play the upright, and he was at my place. And he was like, "Hey, if you're not playing it, you mind if I borrow it?" So he had it for, probably 5-10 years in Philly. And I remember one day he sent me a picture of my bass. He was outside in the rain, and he's an Irish guy. And he's at, I don't know if you guys have some big St. Patty's Day thing down there. But he was all proud of himself. They took my bass out in the rain and was playing it. And that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, listen, bro, I played this instrument at Carnegie Hall. You can't have it in the middle of St. Patty's Day parades in the rain on the streets of Philadelphia.
Man.
Just have some respect.
Man.
On and off again, maybe a little over 20, 25 years in playing.
Wow. That's impressive. And again, the skill is awesome. Elasea, I've been hearing you sing from the church to, on the stage. You have an amazing voice. And I think the pairing of you two is just, it's beautiful. Y'all make beautiful music together.
Thank you.
Folks, make sure you go hear this beautiful music on the 13th at Sini Winery. I'm going to pop it up on the screen again, just in case not everyone saw it. And this is like an awesome graphic too of you two. Like, I was looking at y'all had an artist come and do this. This is pretty cool. I like it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Who was it inspired by? What's the name of that artist again?
Oh, yeah. We'll have to message you the name of, there's a French and kind of Russian Art Deco artist, a woman from, I want to say the 20s or 30s. Who,
when we get off, you have to tag them on the Facebook, on one of the shows, because the convo keeps going. A lot of people watch this after we go live. So again, for folks, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it later, make sure you're liking, make sure you're sharing. And if you want, you can still ask them questions after the show. Just put it in the comments. That's all you got to do. So it's time for my favorite part. It's really kind of the only part of the show. It's 3 random questions. All right. So I'm going to ask you to give me a 3-digit number. None of the numbers can be the same. And I'm going to give you 3 questions that correspond with those numbers back here on my end. So what is your special number?
You need a 3-digit number?
I need a 3-digit number.
We're going to combine it.
Okay.
So 7
5
3.
753. 753. Those are some solid numbers right there. All right. So question number 7. This is a really interesting question to ask someone of your skill. So I'm extremely interested in this answer. Question number 7. If you could only listen to one album or artist while you work, what or who would it be? And of course, you can't say the person sitting next to me.
Oh, not fair.
So we can't say any of our 4 albums that people can go listen to on Spotify, Apple Music. We can't do the album that reached #1 on the RMR Top Jazz chart.
Just saying.
Our Bob Marley album. None of the singles that we released.
Humbly speaking.
None of
Can't do any of those.
All the amazing music is not eligible for this question, but it will be in the links below.
I'll give you one then. You can give one. So for me, Julia Kent. She's the cellist she plays such dark music. It's so moody, emotional. And if I listen in the shower, it's the most dramatic shower ever.
What's her name again?
Julia Kent.
Julia Kent. Okay. I'm marking some of this down. I'm going to have to check her out. Julia Kent. And what about you, Sadiki? Who are you listening to? It could be an album. It could be an artist.
Yeah. If you're gonna say while I work, that limits me a little bit because I don't. There's certain music I like listening to maybe when I'm driving, but working, it's like I got to be focused on something, so I have to enjoy the mood. But it can't be so great musically that it takes my attention. So I don't know. I might have to go with. I'm torn because I love Badu, so I want to say Baduism, but I feel like I get into Baduism a little too much. And maybe I've just listened to Miles Davis like a few thousand times too much, like Kind of Blue. So it's like I know it, so it doesn't take my attention as much as it did 30 years ago. So yeah, I'm gonna go with some kind of Blue, Miles Davis.
Got it. Classic. Cool. Next question. You had number 5. And number 5 is another interesting one. If you could go back to your first days as a professional and give your old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
I'll take this and you can tell me. Save your money. Man, when I keep telling Sadiki, like, boy, when I was on Broadway, if I just know what I know now, if I knew it back then, I'd be set.
That's a good one.
I don't know. I'd probably have to tell myself that when you fail, it's okay. And just make sure that you hold tight to the lessons, to the reasons you failed, so that you can carry them along with you in the future.
Preach, Sadiki. Preach. I got into some stuff a week ago, and I'm very good at not dropping any balls when I'm dealing with clients, but I dropped the ball last week, and they called me out on it, and I had to come to Jesus and like, you know what? Yeah, I tried to. I came up with some really good excuses, but I was like, you know what? No, I just got to take that and not do that again, and learn and get better. And that is something very important for all entrepreneurs, old, young, the whole nine, to figure it out. Great answer. So last question. You're about to be off the hot seat. Number 3, looking ahead, what's something major you hope to accomplish in the next 2 years? And I'm going to guess that this is a combination answer. I think y'all want to accomplish the same stuff, but maybe not. I don't know.
I'm like trying to scroll through my goal list, my list of goals. Like, which one am I going to get in 2 years?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
To buy you some time?
Yeah.
I don't mean this to offend anyone out there, but in the next 2 years, I want us to completely get to the point where we can say no to any and everything. I think, starting a business, sometimes you have to take on clients that you don't necessarily care for, gigs that you don't enjoy, or someone hires you and they're like, come play at my sports bar during happy hour when everyone's, and you're like, that's just really not the right setting for the kind of art. I'm putting my heart out there and you guys are just, funneling beer and stuff and playing beer pong. It's like, that's not the right space for us, but you're paying us well. So we've had to say yes. And now I think we're transitioning where we can say no to most things, but sometimes, they're like, well, let me just throw a number at you. And you're like, all right, I got to say yes, even though I don't want to be there. But in 2 years, I want us to be at that place where we have, that much integrity and we've attracted all the right people where we can really start saying no if it's just not a right fit.
Love it. That's a great answer. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. On a more leisure level, within 2 years, I'd like to be more fluent in French than I am right now. This week was the first week I actually worked with a tutor and tried to have a full-blown conversation out of the blue, and I felt so dyslexic and or what's the word? Like I felt like I couldn't speak. I was stuttering, all of that, the works.
I mean, it's another language. I can't speak French either, so I don't. Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to hear Zach's French?
Yeah. Parlez-vous français? That's
Français, really? Okay. Très bien.
Croissant.
That's all you need.
Yep. And my Spanish is nice. I can do all the numbers and colors and stuff, but no French over here. But that was fantastic. Thank you for those responses. All those answers were great and definitely informative, I think, for our audience. And just again to remind folks, you can follow them at Acute Inflections everywhere. What all platforms are you on? Are you even on so you're on Instagram? I know that you're here on LinkedIn. You got a Facebook page. Is there anything else? Are you TikTokers?
No,
we're too old yet.
Yeah, sorry.
You know what? You're not too old. I've been on TikTok. There's a lot of older folks in their 40s, 50s on TikTok doing great things. Music does well on TikTok.
I can't look myself in the mirror being on TikTok.
All that means to me is, Elasea, you got to do it. You're the social savvy one.
Oh, am I? I was going to say, give us a couple of years. That'll be another accomplishment. Yeah. Get Sadiki.
I know. She had to wear me down just to get on Instagram and Facebook because I still to this day have never had a personal social media profile of any kind. I just don't believe in.
I hear you. No, but well done, Elasea, in getting him to that point.
Thank
That's
you.
a good 2-year goal. That's a heck of a 2-year goal.
Yeah, I know.
You were going to be managing the social media for Acute Inflections.
Oh no.
Maybe we should have you manage it because you seem to know what you're doing over there.
I don't want to take away from your growth, bro. I'm all about that. I don't want to do it.
Look, if you take away the pain, I don't mind.
I hear you. Folks, again, just as a reminder, on the 13th, 5 o'clock City Winery, you can check out this lovely couple and talented group at the City Winery. So make sure you go to acuteinflections.com to get your tickets. I am going to head out. We're going to have another show for you folks watching later. Make sure you're still sharing the show. I'm going to leave it to my awesome friends to close the show. And my only request as they close the show is I want Elasea to say something in French.
Oh no! Oh my gosh! Okay. Hello. Bonsoir. Oui, notre zooming with Zach.
Yeah, that's correct. Whatever she just said, I'm sure it was flawless French.
It was not.
And whoever out there speaks French, you can confirm that in the chat.
We hope you enjoyed Zooming with Zach. Please join him again. And please join us on February 13th at City Winery in Philly for our Jazzy Love Affair show.
Yeah, and you have no excuse not to be there since the Eagles are not. I'm not trying to rub it in that the Eagles
easy. No.
That they disappointed you yet again.
Oh,
but yeah, we'll see you there.
À bientôt.
See you guys.
Tout à l'heure.